Great.
Okay.
Great. It's just Sports Inquirer. We're here with Coach Harmon from Georgia Tech women's tennis. You had a very close win, a very exciting contest against NC State. You were able to earn a victory this past weekend. Just overall thoughts on that performance and what you saw from the team.
Every conference match is really tough, and especially when you play them on the road. So each time you just try to prepare as best you can. NC State has a really good team. They have 4 ranked players in singles. They're 1 through 4 are all ranked. I think they're 1 through 3 are all top 30 or top 40. So you know what it's a tough match is going to be at the top. And then their top 2 doubles teams are ranked number 2 and number 15 in the country. So it's going to be a pretty tough assignment when you play them, especially at their place. So we just knew that we were going to have to play with a high level of motion and focus and discipline. And it started in doubles. I thought we played really well in doubles. Our number 1 team is probably 4 or 5 in the country. So it was really a top 5 battle at the top. And then we're just trying to find a way to win at 2 or 3. And so once our 1 team, they played exceptionally well. Kenya and Vicky played exceptionally well, and they were able to win that match. And then our 2 team got out ahead of their 2 team, but then they came back and was back and forth the whole way to the tiebreaker, and then we were able to pull out the tiebreaker at 2. So winning the doubles point set the stage, I thought, for us was really important because it's
Yeah.
hard to win 4 singles matches against anyone's really good team. So, I thought that set the stage.
Yeah, you mentioned Kenya Jones and Victoria Flores. They were able to win their doubles match against a top 5 ranked national team. You teamed Ava and Hrastar and Gia Cohen together, I think, for the first time as a unit, and they were able to get that second doubles win for you. What led to that pairing, and what did you see from that group to maybe use them further along the line?
Well, I felt like the day before we didn't play very well in doubles, and we needed to make a switch. And I have toyed with playing those 2 together in the past. Just we hadn't done it because we just hadn't been able to get them enough time to practice together. But I mean, they both do from the sides of the court that we've asked them to play. We asked Gia to play the deuce and Ava to play the ad. And so they were able to, I think the start was key. They served well and they both hit the ball really, really hard. And so if they're playing well, they're a pretty tough team to play against based on their styles. And so they were playing against a very experienced team that was a 5th-year senior with a junior. But I thought they did a nice job to get ahead and then to be able to stay in the match and then to be able to get ahead in the breaker. And they were just listening, I think, to the coaching from Alexis, our assistant head coach, who really talked about a specific strategy and way to play, and they were able to execute that down the line for us to be able to win the match.
Yeah, and you got singles wins from Kenya Jones and Victoria Flores, but it came all the way down to your final singles match. Your freshman, Carol Lee, she was able to step up and, uh, after losing that first set tiebreaker, win the final 2 sets to get that singles win. What about her performance and how big that was for you, Carol Lee?
Well, Carol is an amazing person. First of all, she's one of the hardest workers we've ever had at Tech. You almost shudder when you see a message come up on your phone because it's probably a text from Carol asking if she can come in early to either look at video or hit extra balls or hit more serves or do something. She's just one of those people who is just extremely hard worker and is very motivated to be the best player she can be. And she's made a lot of progress with her game this year. I mean, she came in as a top 100 ITF junior. She qualified for the Australian Open juniors as well as the US Open juniors the last time they had it. So she's a very accomplished player, but she came from a very long way away. I think it's the furthest most US territory from the US mainland. Saipan is a US territory, and it is the furthest away. It's Guam by a little bit. So, she's someone who maybe didn't have all the tennis exposure that some other kids had, but she's got tremendous desire. She is the fastest player on our team and probably the best athlete on our team. And so she's worked really hard, and we wanted to give her that shot because we had a couple options of people to play at 6, but I just felt like she was the best call. And she was able to, after not winning the first set, which I thought she had chances to win the first, she played a great second, and then got down 3-1 in the third. And then, her fitness really kicked in because she's in great shape and she covers the court like a blanket. We call her the gazelle because she covers a ton of space. And she just, every ball kept coming back. She just kept the ball in play. She kept her depth, and she was able to also play offense when she needed to. And she ran off 4 straight games to go up 5-3. Her opponent served a good game at 5-4, but then she was able to close it down. The last point was a 15 or 16 ball rally where, if it's goes past about 6-7 balls, Carol will stay in it mentally. And obviously she has the court to be able to play extended long rallies. And I think, she forced her opponent into making an error on 14 to 15th ball. So we're just really happy for her. So that was a really good win for us. So we just hopefully take some of that momentum in this weekend.
Yeah, before we get to Duke and North Carolina this weekend at home, I've asked all my spring coaches, how is the team feeling right now? One, to be back on the court, and as we speak right now, try to get a full season in after everything last year. And how are they physically? Because the training, I'm sure, was not your normal fall preparation for the spring season. So physically, how are they holding up so far?
I think physically we're doing okay because so much of our season so far has been indoors. So we've just gotten outdoors for maybe 3 or 4 matches. When you play outside is when it becomes very, very physical. This weekend, I think, will be physical because it's going to be in the 70s, 75, close to 80 one of the days. So it's going to get hot. We think that that's an advantage for us because we are honestly an outdoor team, even though we had a good indoor season for a change, because typically we don't play quite as well indoors. What was difficult for, I think, for us and all the ACC teams was not being able to play tournaments in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Was really, really hard because our friends didn't get to experience college tennis. Matches put you under pressure once you have to come back. And if you look at the teams that we've played in our schedule, I looked at our record and I was like, God, and I looked at who we played. We played so many top teams. We played, Georgia, Pepperdine, Ohio State, Oklahoma State. So many, Florida State. Now we have Duke, Carolina. We've played so many teams in the top 15, but we needed to because we didn't get to play in the fall. And so what I'm hoping is that this tough schedule will allow us to be able to play our best tennis this weekend and then moving forward to the end of the ACC season.
Yeah, and we'll end on this. You have North Carolina and Duke coming up. You mentioned 2 strong teams. Just how preparation's been going for it as you prepare, or as you go through the ACC season.
Well, for us, our schedule was top loaded because the ACC this year, I think we have 6 teams in the top 15, 6 or 7 teams in the top 15. So it's obviously a nasty place to play. And for us, all of the players, all of the people we play in the top 15 are in the front half of the schedule. So it's this weekend, and then next weekend we play Virginia, and then we get the other half coming back because we've already played, Florida State, and we played NC State, and we played the tougher half of our schedule. Though every match in conference is tough. I think this weekend, we're just looking. Obviously, North Carolina hasn't lost a match in 2 years, so they're really tough. We played them last year in Chapel Hill, and it was funny because at that match, after the match, I told their coach, I said, God, nothing's going to stop you guys this year from basically winning an NCAA tournament unless there's like the plague. Well, I didn't know that a week later it came, which was so strange. But it's going to be a great match for us to compete against them. Kenya's had success against Graham from their team as well as Devitella, so she's had success against their top 2 players. We feel like we have some matchups against them as well as against Duke that we think are okay. We beat Duke here at kickoff weekend to qualify for team indoors, so I'm sure they're going to come in pretty mad, looking for some revenge. So we're looking forward to some pretty competitive matches this weekend, an opportunity for our players to continue to grow and prosper, hopefully. And, we're looking at, our goal always is play your best tennis by the ACC tournament and play your best tournament tennis going into the NCAA tournament. So that's still going to be our mantra going forward. And every match is just an opportunity to try to get a little bit better, trying to move the ball up the hill a little bit further.
Sure. Well, Coach, thank you for your time. We greatly appreciate it, and good luck this weekend.
No problem. Okay, thank you so much.